Welcome back to Snake Eyes, the D&D podcast thing. Yeah. Where one DM and one player try to make a whole campaign work.
I mean, it could work.
Yeah, it could. All right, so I'm going to need a D6, and we're going to determine which of these 5 crazy characters you are playing as tonight.
Whew, okay, D6. Here we go.
1d6.
2.
A 2. All right. Easy enough.
Oh,
So you are a bit ticked. You are a bit miffed.
Okay.
You feel like you are not being taken seriously. You feel like you have this pent-up anger that you need to deal with,
Okay.
and that your traveling companion is not taking you seriously, and you don't.
Am I Lavi?
I mean, you have had a really bad couple of days.
Okay.
You have no idea where your sister is, and it's
I'm Lavi.
starting to show.
Okay.
And you know what? As much as that guy says, as much as you don't want to believe that guy when he says you smell bad, you can smell it too, and you just don't want to admit it.
Okay,
So
well,
it's
normally I smell great.
You normally smell great, and you don't right now, and this guy is making fun of you, and it's not fair.
It's rude.
If he knew you before this, then he would have been like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you smell just like perfect spices and flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like this one day is when you had to run into this guy when, yes, you smell like bog water and mud. Okay? It's not fair. Not fair.
I'm so happy I'm starting with Lavi.
You are following after Jupp as he is like happily walking along the path northeast out of town.
Uh-huh.
Or out of the swamp, I should say. Well, we head on this way for about a day or so, and we'll make it over to Zhash's Crossing.
And I was just in Meyerfield, if I remember correctly.
Correct. You were in Meyerfield. You traveled to the pin marked as Pidge's last sighting.
Ooh, we're like in an investigative detective kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you're now traveling on the road northeast toward the small town of Zhash's Crossing, which is a town built at the crossroads between the main trade road that goes south of Ville down to the city of Zareth. And that's like the spot where traders from the Zhash Basin go up to trade with people that are traveling along that trade road.
Okay.
Because the traders themselves that go along that main route don't really stop and go to the swamps. So people in the swamps have to travel up there, so there's a small settlement there that's basically just a couple of inns and a few shops, houses and a couple farms. It's a very small settlement. It's just there as a supply point for the people that live in the Zhash Basin. So it's a little merchant's rest.
Okay.
I probably should have made you roll a knowledge local for that, but fuck it.
Fuck it.
So you're traveling northeast along the road, and Jupp is traveling. He was, at least before, he was walking in front of you, and he's carrying his stuff and either smiling or whistling or making conversation with you as you go. But he's still mostly chiding you about your current state.
I'm gonna show him.
I'm
As
sure
soon as
you
I
will.
take a bath.
We'll
I'm
have
not
to see.
talking to you currently. I'm talking to
Certainly
myself.
sounds like you're talking to me. Don't know who else is here to hear you.
Okay, well, sometimes people like to talk to themselves.
I ain't never talked to myself.
I highly doubt that.
Never around other folks, I suppose.
Well,
Do you not spend much time around other folks?
I spend time around plenty of people, thank you.
Oh, all right. Traveled the world, have you? Seen everything?
No,
Flown
they're just
one end of the
happen-
continent to the other.
There just happens to be plenty of harpies where I live. And I do travel enough to be quite the salesperson, thank you. And so...
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna add a mark
Whoops.
here. Add a little mark here. All right, that's one. All right,
I did
continue.
so good last time.
Mm-hmm.
And Lavi kind of swishes one of their wings in a dismissive manner.
Could have fooled me.
Do I not seem well-versed in that of people?
Well, no, it's just you get ruffled awful easy is all.
I do not.
I mean, you're ruffled right now. He turns and, like, points at your feathers, which are currently ruffled.
Lavi, swishily, like their tail feathers kind of hit him when they turn.
He just kind of laughs it off and turns and starts walking again.
And where is the next town?
Like I said, it's about a day's walk this way. Ain't got a horse. I doubt you can lift me, so that's the best speed we can make.
I mean, not with my wings this dirty.
Well, luckily they got some nice baths up in Zhash's Crossing. Seems some of them trading folk don't like to deal with us swampers unless we take in a bath sometimes, so I've been told they're pretty nice compared to others. I don't really leave this area too much.
Well, there's a first for everyone, now isn't there?
I suppose so. So, y'all worried about your sister then?
Immensely. She's never really been good at things without me. If
Well,
anything,
I mean...
She just has troubles, and I just want to be there for her. I just don't know why she left. I was doing everything for her so she could live happily. I don't know if she's mad at me, or if someone did something, I'm going to hurt them.
Don't doubt it. You look like you could cause a lot of pain with them.
I could.
Kind of gestures at your ungways.
They're very effective for clawing out body parts. Lavi nods to herself.
Oh, just remind me not to get on your bad side then, huh?
I'm trying to, but somebody keeps telling me I'm smelly constantly.
I mean...
You're going to do it again.
You brought it up again.
No! You're supposed to deny it at least. Have you never spoken with someone and tried to, I don't know, be more nice?
What exactly you think I'm trying to do here? I'm just trying to have a conversation with my new friend. That's all.
I just don't like remembering that I may or may not smell the best currently.
Well, like I said, we're going to get to Zhash's Crossing. You can have yourself a bath there, alright?
It better be steaming hot.
Can't guarantee that, but water should be clean at least. Well, cleaner than what y'all got working on. But
I helped a frog guy
really?
catch fish.
Is that... Yeah, y'all were fishing.
Look, he said he knew where Pidge was, so if I helped him...
You good at catching fish with them? You got like gestures at your feet.
Well, yeah, aren't you? Sorry, that was... Never mind.
He looks at his own feet. Can't say I ever tried. Can't imagine I'd be good at catching fish with them.
Well, I find it particularly effective. I don't know about you.
Yeah, wading in swamp mud don't really sound like a good use of my time.
And then these gross insects appear. They cover their mouth a little bit with their wing.
He stops and looks at you. Yep, you all right?
Look, there were these giant insects that were disgusting.
He cautiously tries to offer a hand to pat you on the shoulder.
Oh, are you sure you want to touch me? Won't you get super stinky and gross?
I ain't gonna touch you from the waist down.
Good.
He didn't realize that's kind of what he's just said. I mean, because it's where your mud's at. Look, never mind. He turns and starts to walk down the street again. Oh, down the road again.
Lavi shakes their head and then follows. I knew what you meant.
Alright, good. Just making sure.
Yeah, no, I understood. It would be silly for anyone to think otherwise.
Awful silly.
So, Jupp, didn't
Yeah, Lavi?
Wait, my name's Lavinia.
And I think that's too long of a name.
Alright. That's abrupt and it's fine.
Lavinia. There. Y'all happy?
No, go back to Lavi.
Alright. Well, what's up, Lavi?
Why did you say that people called you, what was it, a lone brewer or something like that?
Well, sometimes folks in town think that I'm maybe not the great alchemist that I feel like I am. So, sometimes in the past, people thought my potions all kind of tasted the same, and, they thought I just made the one kind of thing, and everything I made was just, moonshine, basically.
Ah, so they only think you can brew one thing, hence the name.
He nods. But, them potions do all kinds of things. I make ones that heal folk, I make ones that bless folk, I make ones that, make you spit fire up. But
you can... interesting.
But, everybody just calls me Lone Brew, because, they all kind of taste a bit the same.
It was very potent.
Glad y'all enjoyed it.
It's not what I... Whatever. Yes.
Say what?
Nothing. Thank you for helping me before. And now, you really didn't have to come with me.
Well, like I said, I ain't got nothing else going on, and you seemed like you needed some help in the situation that you're in, and, guess I always kind of wanted a bit of an excuse to get out of town, So, you're doing me a favor. Think of it that way.
Okay. So, anything else you like other than potions?
Oh, collecting flowers. Herbalism.
Oh.
I believe is the way it's pronounced.
I'm sorry, was the first word you said flowers?
Herbalism, I believe, is the proper term. So, I use them. I use them for alchemy.
Flower.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's kind of cute.
He kind of shoots you a flat look. Cute you. He turns and keeps walking.
I'm sorry.
Call me cute. Cute yourself.
I'm not just cute. I am beautiful.
Can't tell under all that muck.
Oh! You are so getting it at this village. Warm water or not, as long as it is clean, you will be able to tell how wonderful and amazing I am underneath all this muck, and you, sir, are just a big, stinky...
Wait. Basically, like, puts his hand on your lips. He, like, points across the field, and you have no idea what he's pointing at. Make a perception check.
Okay, there's... Oh no. It's 9.
Y'all see that?
No. What the hell are you pointing at?
Still has his hand on your lips.
What the hell are you pointing at?
Stay quiet, okay?
Looks back and forth and then slowly nods.
Can y'all be less conspicuous? He hunches down as if to look smaller.
Lavi attempts to look smaller. They kind of put their dirtier feathers up more so that they're a bit more camouflaged. This?
Okay. He's going to make a stealth check, and he's going to start creeping off into the direction he pointed.
All right,
Follow or don't. Just try to keep low profile.
Fuck. I have, like, the worst stealth. I don't think it's a good idea to follow. Lavi kind of starts to step forward and then stays, and I'd be better with not moving, I guess. They're just watching Jupp at this point, I guess.
You see him move across into the field off to the west of the road, and he's like moving towards something, but you don't see anything he's moving toward. It's just like an empty field, basically. And then in one sudden movement, he like reaches down to the ground and yanks something up. You can hear in the distance, "Woohoo! Got him!"
The hell? Am I allowed to talk now?
He kind of comes bounding over. Yeah, y'all can talk now.
Great. I've never had anyone shush me before.
Really?
Yes.
Y'all must have been sheltered. You're a bit of a loudmouth.
I'm not. People like to hear me talk.
Y'all come from a strange place. Can't believe I caught him. He's holding something in his right hand. Well,
what is it?
It's prairie tooth.
A what?
A prairie tooth.
Lavi just moves their head over to look at what he's holding.
You see this plant it's about 6 inches tall. Like the piece in his hand is about 6 inches long, I should say. And it's got like the spiral leaf on it. So there's like leaves that move around the thing in a spiral, and it's mostly green, but it's got white markings on it as well. You have no idea how he spotted this thing from where he was standing on the road. And you also have no idea why a person would need to sneak up on a plant.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. And why did I have to be quiet for a plant?
Well, if you scare Prairie Tooth, it wilts. At least until you pluck it. Oh, she's a beaut. He smells it. Oh, man, this is a real beaut.
And you can make things with it?
Well, sure. Of course. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I didn't know if it turned into a beautiful woman or something. You were so excited.
Y'all think only a beautiful woman's gonna excite me? That's a bit...
Lavi looks like they're holding back a smirk.
What?
Nothing.
Just think that's kind of... Thinking I'm kind of simple. Think I have a bit more complexity to myself.
Look, Jupp, I haven't known you for that long. I'm sure you have plenty of complexities.
I'm just saying, takes more than a pretty face to get my heart all flutter.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Got nothing to do with you. He looks back at what's in his hands and starts smiling and smells it again. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. He takes out a small glass vial and very carefully puts it in there, and then puts a cork in it, puts it back into a belt pouch. Absolutely perfect.
Just, can you at least signal to me if it's a plant again next time? I thought we were in
If it were dangerous, I'd have said so.
Okay, so I'll assume if you don't tell me what it is, then it's a plant. Savvy?
He shrugs. Why not?
I just like knowing things.
Sure. Y'all do what you need.
I will.
Well, good. Glad to hear it.
Me too. So glad. Shall we keep going? We sure have toddled quite a bit, and I would love to be clean.
Y'all real concerned.
You keep telling me I'm smelly, and I'm offended.
Alright, fine. He turns and starts walking at a pace that you find somewhat difficult to keep up with.
Faster than me?
Land speed, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you have a land speed of 20 feet.
I'm gonna try to fly then.
Okay.
I'm going to fly alongside him then.
Average. Okay, so flying at his speed, you can do that pretty easily. You can fly along at his walking speed, and it's actually a little bit slow for your flight. If you were to go any slower, you'd need to make a check to maintain yourself, but you're moving just fast enough at his normal speed that you don't need to make any checks. Well, look at y'all just flying like that. Is that going to tuck your arms out?
I mean, I'm sure eventually I'll need to land. I'm just hoping I'll land in a village.
All right. So, I enjoy herbalism. What's y'all's hobby?
Oh, usually I'm taking care of my little sister.
Taking care of siblings isn't really a hobby, though, is it? I don't really have much siblings, so, maybe I don't know right, but I just figured that if a person enjoyed something, then they had a hobby, but
there is something I like to do.
I'm all ears.
I don't think it's a hobby, it's just something I do.
Alright, well, what do you got?
Usually, when I'm home, I tend to flirt with others. Fun. What? Why are you laughing at me?
Yo, you got a collection of things that ain't hobbies that you call hobbies. It's good. Flirting. Like that's a hobby. Look, I'm sure you're mighty good at it.
Want to test me? Lavi
please.
kind of flies up really close next to his face. And they're more doing this because it's like, how dare you question how good I am at things.
I'm going to have him make a fortitude save. You can see him visually recoil when you do that. Best get you to a bath quick.
Lavi starts to fly away from him, farther up ahead.
You can try your best to flirt, but I think you may be at a disadvantage.
I'll get you back, Lavi calls behind them.
I ain't done nothing to you.
Just been rude. Just
telling you the truth.
Well, what?
Y'all ain't used to that, are you?
There's no answer.
Called it.
Plenty of people tell me the truth. That's just mumbling to themselves. People tell me I'm smart. They tell me I'm sweet. They tell me I'm very beautiful. I am beautiful. He just can't seem to see that. Once I get a bath and I get something cleaned in my feathers and I can... I'll be back to normal, and then he'll see. I'm so...
Y'all talking to yourself a whole lot up there.
How do you even know I'm talking to myself, Jupp?
I got good ears.
Well, stop listening!
He comically plugs his ears with his fingers as he's walking.
Oh, I'm gonna get you so
Very
hard.
well, your highness.
I am no highness, although I am higher than you.
He doesn't answer because he can't hear you anymore.
Lavi kind of slows their pace to fly back at his again, but they're pouting.
He unplugs his ears. Oh, deign to rejoin us dirty, unwashed masses.
I will scratch you.
I do not think I would enjoy that.
Neither do I.
Well, that's good to hear at least.
Don't actually want to scratch you.
Shucks. Sounds like y'all got a soft spot for me now.
No, now I do. I lied.
He just starts chuckling. So y'all's hobby is flirting.
Look.
And when it ain't flirting, it's taking care of your sister. That's fine. I mean, I'm sure you're pretty good at it, right?
Yeah, I love my sister.
I mean... Sure thing. I'm sure you're the best sister in the whole wide world, and I bet your sister says so every single day, right?
She did.
Well, tell you what, let's find her, and she'll tell you again, alright?
Okay.
Because ask me what I noticed when we were back at that place in the swamp. Guess what I noticed?
You noticed that you were near a harpy who was covered in mud and super smelly and suddenly got bitten by a crocodile.
I noticed there weren't no blood at all around where your sister was taken, which means she is basically unharmed.
You think so?
I know so. There ain't no blood on the ground. She's fine. All we gotta do, find her, figure out why somebody took her, and get her back. Easy peasy.
Okay.
He's gonna look up and try to look supportive.
Lavi's looking forward but glances down and has a sad smile, but it goes away really quickly and they look like they're looking forward again.
Well, anything you want to talk about to pass the time?
Oh, well, why don't you tell me about your favorite flowers?
If you're sure.
Well, maybe I could look out for them for you since, well, for now you've decided to be with me.
I mean, we're just traveling together. Wouldn't say I'm with you, you know what, never mind.
Okay.
So, not that I don't appreciate your offer, but y'all don't seem to be the most observant folk I ever met, so maybe y'all...
They start to get fluffy. It won't fly.
Maybe y'all aren't going to be spotting flowers in fields, even from an advantageous vantage point.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'll still talk to you about them if you want to hear about them.
Look, I was just trying to make conversation, and I figured talking about something you liked would make you happy.
Oh, y'all want to talk about something you like?
You're gonna make fun of me if I do.
I mean, it's a reasonable possibility, but you ain't never gonna find out until you try. And if you ever stop yourself from doing something for fear of being a fool made of yourself, and you ain't never gonna do nothing in life. He shrugs. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I always looked at it.
I kind of like shiny things. Very specifically rocks. I don't really like telling the others this because, they're just rocks.
You like shiny rocks,
I think they're pretty. And in a way, a lot of jewelry tends to have a polished cut version of a rock, does it not? So what makes an unpolished, sparkly rock any different from the polished ones? I kind of think they're pretty on their own right, but there's no value in them. And they just take up space. And sometimes your little sister gets blamed for your habit of picking up random things like that.
Y'all have had a pretty rough couple of days, right?
Yes.
He stops walking. Would y'all mind maybe sitting down for a sit? Just for a moment.
Lavi kind of looks him up and down and then lands. Okay.
He walks up to you and reaches into one of his belt pouches and kind of feels around in there for a second. Pulls out an object. Ain't worth much, but found this a while ago. Been carrying it with me. Probably ain't worth much, like I said, but maybe y'all would want it?
Oh, so pretty. How did you have this? Were you just doing that while I was explaining what I liked?
I said I found it I found it a while ago, and I just had it with me, like I says, and I figured maybe you'd enjoy it more than I would.
Lavi gets really close, like their face is practically in his palm, looking at the stone.
Would you like it?
For free?
I mean, do you normally not get things for free?
Not down here. Lavi's face is still right next to the stone.
Well, yeah. You can have it for free.
Lavi kind of holds out one of their wings.
He gently sets it there.
They bring it up close to their face, looking at it.
It's shiny. It actually looks well worn, like it's been rubbed on a lot.
Rubbing it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a worry stone. I love it.
I'm real glad you do. Let's keep going, all right?
And Lavi kind of lets it fall into one of their pouches and looks really happy as tap it with their wing. And they kind of start flapping their wings and go up to their flying speed, just kind of swerving a bit more back and forth, mostly because they're happy. Thank you, Jupp.
I'm not sure if he heard you. Keeps walking.
They fly a little bit closer. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's all fine.
Sorry, I'll step back a little again. They fly a bit of a distance.
He kind of chuckles. We'll get y'all sorted out real soon.
I'm sorry I stink.
Ain't nothing to be sorry for. Like you said, you're just trying to find your sister. Ain't no shame in that.
I just thought it would be easier. Like, I'd fly down, she'd be there. And I'd just bring her home. Sometimes
things in life is easy, and most of the time they ain't. Especially if it means doing things the right way.
Sage advice?
He shrugs. Something I read on a potion bottle once.
I hope it was yours.
I mean, I reused it.
You should make the saying your own then. I'm sure no one would notice.
Maybe so.
Would be a good sales tactic.
Y'all know lots about good sales?
Well, you do know what I am, right?
I mean, you're a harpy, so you kind of like a mix between a person and a bird, so...
Not just any person, but that's not important. I mean, I usually do traveling and trade.
Sure. Y'all have, like, merchants and caravans and things, and go to towns and sell things, and, I mean, you just didn't really seem like the type of, like, a haggler.
Well...
Like a lot of your folks kind of have a reputation.
I may not have been down here as often. I was busy taking care of other things. And no one thought it was necessary yet for me to grow up yet. So it's been fine. It just hasn't been necessary to come down here that often. Mostly just for traveling, but I'm still good at so many things.
I'm sure you are.
It's just slowly, as they get more and more flustered, they just get fluffier and fluffier.
You keep puffing up like that, you're going to find it hard to fly.
Well, I'm perfectly fine, and that's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, figure I'll tell you a few things about herbalism if you mind to hear.
Sure, sounds good.
All right. So Jupp will explain to you a couple of different kinds of herbs and flowers and some basics of alchemy, like how he mixes together some potions, and then what he does to kind of make them all alcoholic. And he'll talk on like that for a while, taking questions and generally trying to be helpful. And unless you have anything else specific to talk to him about, we can advance time a bit.
Let's advance time.
All right. So that evening, you kind of crest a hill, and you can see in the distance a much larger road that seems to be traveling northwest to southeast. And on where that road and your road intersect is a small town. And when I say small town, I mean it's a very small town. It's got maybe a dozen buildings total.
Okay.
But some of them are reasonably sized. One of them is a pretty large inn. And you approach the town.
You have a town map for me? Oh my goodness. It's so tiny.
Yeah, like I said, it's a real small.
It's a little baby town.
There's a bit of buildings, but it is a very small town. So it seems to be split into two districts. The majority of the town is on the east side of the street, and it is called Merchant's Meet. It has a large forum in the middle of town. And then on the west side of the street is a much smaller district, simply referred to as Bogreach, and that's mostly where the swampers come to stay. So the two of you get into town, and you can see that, like I said, it's beginning to become evening. The sun's low in the sky, and you can hear the sounds of people talking, and there's people moving around the town. It appears to be, relatively quiet and normal area. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of trade caravans that are parked here for the night. You don't really notice anything crazy out of the ordinary, though. There's no, Harpy caravans or anything like that. It's just some traders traveling along the road.
Please tell me you know where the bath is, the closest bath.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't see no wagons that, well...
They don't look like any of the ones that would have taken her?
No, we lost the wagon ruts in the road a while back. I mean, could be any of these, could be none of them. We can go around and check the wagons if you want.
Sure, let's do that.
Or would you rather take a bath first?
No, we need to check those wagons first. They might leave before I'm done.
He nods. So you go over to a couple of the different wagon trains in the area, and when you go to start examining them, guards will stop you. People traveling along with the caravans, the caravan guards themselves will stop you and ask you what the hell do you think you're doing?
Look, I'm just inspecting the caravans because someone took my sister, and I'm trying to see if I can find the cart that took her.
That would be a diplomacy check, please.
Ooh. 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 Oh, it's an 8.
And the guards are like, oh, likely story. You're probably just a lone thief, aren't you?
Thief?
Harpy separated from her caravan. Think you can just steal from other people?
I do not steal.
Shoo! Get out of here.
How
the guards
dare
are
you?
Literally shooing you away. Jump's like, come on, it ain't worth it.
Why, I oughta. I'll show them.
He shoots the guard a mean look. And walks with you as you leave. Look,
How am I supposed to find her now?
I mean, I'm sure we'll find her. Just we got to figure out which way she'd have gone. Besides, while y'all were causing a distraction, shrugs. I may have peeked in some of them wagons.
Did you see anything? Is she here?
He shakes his head. No, that whole wagon train was clear.
No feathers or anything?
Mm-mm. I think based on the tracks, it would have been traveling alone anyway. I don't really see any lone wagons here, so they must have got a decent head start on us.
Lavi looks a little teary-eyed.
Hey, maybe somebody in the tavern, or the inn here, saw him pass through and maybe knows where to look.
Okay,
Never know. Barkeeps always seem to know a little bit more than they should. You walk up to a large building. It has a wooden cutout of an enormous man holding a very tiny tankard of ale.
Looks festive.
I've been here a couple times. Just try to keep, just don't let nobody touch your stuff.
Lavi uses their wings to protect themselves. Like this?
Yeah, that'll do just fine.
All right.
So he opens the door and walks in first. Kind of holds it open for you.
Lavi follows, unsure
So-
of what's happening.
So what you see inside is a pretty raucous tavern. There's a number of tables. There's a bunch of people drinking and shouting and carousing. There's a bar with a couple of people working behind it. There's a few serving staff walking around, serving people drinks and food. There is an upstairs that you believe is probably the inn itself, like the actual beds upstairs, rooms. And you see that Jupp is making his way over to the bar currently.
Lavi's kind of looking around and slowly following him, but they're just kind of watching themselves and like making sure no one's touching them.
He's asking the barkeep something, but you're not quite sure what he's saying. It's pretty loud in here. Barkeep shakes his head no, and then at that point Jupp's asking something else. Barkeep shakes his head no. Jupp kind of scratches his head, asks something else. Barkeep makes a gesture of a thumb over his right shoulder, pointing like behind him. Jupp nods, pulls out 2 silver coins, lays them down on the bar, and slides them over to the barkeep.
Did you find her? Is she here?
No, he didn't seem to know anything. They didn't see a wagon head through here, at least not a single one. It said he's only seen wagon caravans, so, I mean, maybe it's possible the wagon just, well, possible they bypassed the whole town altogether. And if that's the case, then, well, it's anybody's guess which way they could have gone, north or south. Do you have any clue or idea?
I don't. And Lavi's eyes get teary again.
He pulls out a copper coin. Well, figure we ought to flip it, huh? North or south?
Okay.
If we ain't got a better option.
Unless we find one, we'll go with your coin.
Well, you call it when it's in the air, alright?
Alright.
He flips it with his thumb, and it's spinning in the air.
Tails.
For yeah, but you gotta say for what?
Oh, tails for south, head for north?
Okay. And he catches it and slaps it down. I'm gonna roll a quick die here, see what he got. So he flips the coin, and he slaps it down on his wrist, and it is tails.
South it is.
Well, you'll be happy to know I have reserved us, well, the best bath in the town.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There's a door next to the bar. He pushes it open. Come on.
Lavi is practically bouncing on their way to this door.
All right.
You know, like little parrots when they get
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Like that.
Yeah. So he pushes the door open for you. You walk back, and he takes you around, and basically the hallway goes past the kitchen and leads to an area behind on the other side of the kitchen where there's like a door here that fully closes to offer some privacy. He opens it up, and inside you see one large basin. It's easily big enough to fit a person in it, probably more.
Okay.
He opens the door and walks inside. There's towels and table, and it's pretty sparse, but it is a bathing room.
Okay.
There we go.
Lavi's kind of, they're still kind of bouncing. They're so happy. Oh, they dip the end of one of their wings in the water.
It is warm, but not hot. Now, luckily, there is a stove in here that has water on it currently.
Yeah.
Jupp goes over and makes sure it's lit, and then takes a scoop of the water out of the basin and sets it onto the stove to heat it up. Don't worry, we'll get this piping hot soon enough.
I like it that way. And Lavi rubs their wings together happily. And then they kind of look at themselves, and then look at Jupp, and they shrug, and then they start to declothe.
Yeah, Jupp doesn't even really notice. He's busy working the stove.
They go and hang up their garments. They're like, maybe I should wash this too. Yeah. And is there anything that I can put into the water to make it smell good?
No, you don't have anything like that.
Oh, there's nothing there even?
No, it's a pretty basic bath.
Boring.
Mm-hmm, very boring,
I want
right?
bubbles!
Jupp turns around holding this thing of water, and he sees you standing there, and he's like, didn't think you'd just disrobe like that. Pardon me. He averts his gaze a little bit and walks over and makes sure that the door is closed, and then he'll lock the door. Just some folk have, hang-ups about nudity, I guess.
Oh, apologies.
I mean, don't worry about me. I'm mostly worried about other folk. Didn't want nobody barging in here anyway.
Gotcha.
He walks over and pours the water into the basin, and then takes out another scoop and sets it back onto the stove.
Can I test the water again?
Yeah, it's now a bit warmer. Should only be a few minutes till we get it nice and piping hot for you. He's still politely averting his gaze. Would you mind if I assisted? I figured, it ain't really an interesting bath.
Sure.
He reaches into his pouches and starts to concoct something.
It's kind of normal where I'm from for everyone to kind of help each other bathe.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense. Y'all, he kind of holds up a hand, kind of wiggles his fingers, kind of makes it hard, I guess.
What do you mean?
Not that I mean, never mind. Just forget I said anything.
Okay.
So anyway, he takes out a small mortar and pestle, takes out some plants, starts to grind them up together. Figure I'll maybe make the bath a bit more interesting.
Lavi walks over and kind of looks at what he's doing.
He appears to be concocting some sort of potion. You're not sure what it does, but make a perception check.
Oh boy, do I love doing that as Lavi.
You're blind, deaf, and apparently nose-blind character.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's...
You're not sure what he's doing, but it smells nice. It's made of a lot of crushed up flowers.
So glad. Really. So glad how smart I am.
He finishes what he's doing. The water on the stove finishes again. He dumps that in.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes out more water and puts it back on the stove to keep it hot. And then he takes the mixture he created, and he dumps that into the water. It sort of makes the water have kind of an opaque, whitish hue to it. So it's kind of not really clear anymore. It also makes it much more fragrant. It has
like flower.
It has like a floral scent to it.
Yay!
And then he starts mixing up another potion as well.
What's this one going to be?
Oh, y'all see. It's for after.
Okay.
So if y'all ready, go ahead and hop on in, I guess.
Lavi looks at the last of the water that's still getting heated up. After that goes in.
Oh, all right. He dumps it in. At this point, the room is beginning to get kind of steamy.
Yes, water. Lavi steps down into the basin.
Mm-hmm. And it's about, like I said, it's a really big tub, and it could probably fit about 3 people in it. If you really tried.
It's kind of like a hot tub.
Kinda. It's a bit smaller than a modern hot tub.
Okay.
There's no like seats in it or anything. It's just a basin.
Okay.
But the warmth of the water feels amazing after the last couple of days you've had, and you can already feel it kind of dislodging the dirt and grime from you.
Lavi just sinks into the water.
Jupp will walk up, and he has a scrub brush in his hand. Can I help?
Mm-hmm. They're just kind of waiting, like...
Well, you gotta kind of give me something to scrub here.
Oh! They present one wing.
He starts scrubbing it and brushing it. Your colors are nice.
Oh, I'm well aware. I am very rare where I'm from, actually.
Oh, really? Ain't very many red harpies, I guess?
None like me. If you get to the end of my wing, you'll see a bit of a difference than just red.
He gets to the end of your wing and sees that you've got yellow ends to your main flight pinions. So he'll work through scrubbing your wing, and he cleans off one of them. It's sort of sudsy now. Apparently whatever he's mixed into the water also has a detergent quality.
I like it. So much better than being all mucky and gross.
He finishes what he's doing, he holds up the brush again. Anything else?
Lavi presents the other wing.
He nods and starts scrubbing it as well. So, you say you're good at flirting, hmm?
Yeah.
Well, I can't smell any mud on you anymore, so...
Lavi shoots him a look.
Figure you can try your worst at this point.
My worst.
Or your best. I'll leave it up to you, I guess.
Maybe worst would be better. Can't give you too many expectations. Lavi turns. Because I assume he's slightly behind them, since they're in the basin.
Yeah, and he's, at this point, I believe he's probably washing your right wing.
Yeah.
He's sort of behind you and to the right, and he's reaching into the basin with a scrubber brush, and he's kind of going down your arm and down the feathers.
Lavi's gonna sit on the edge, and their tail feathers
you're gonna pop back out?
Yeah.
Because I assumed you were down to, like, your neck level in there.
Oh, they were.
Okay.
He's gonna have to do my tail eventually.
Yeah. He sort of diverts his eyes from your body.
And Lavi turns and kind of has it so that at least, like, some of their hair is kind of touching his shoulder or something. Now, what kind of idea do you have about flirting anyways?
Just that back where I'm from, it's mostly done not well, I guess.
Well, usually, if I am flirting, well, I would probably insist that you get in this bathtub with me. And they're looking very directly at him. And
he's still averting his gaze because he's trying his best not to stare at your body.
Lavi leans in and blows some hot air at his ear.
He bites his lip and continues brushing as he finishes your right wing. Is there any other...
Tail feathers, please.
So he positions himself behind you now.
So, should I do more, or was that a good enough example for you?
Oh, please, continue.
Lavi didn't anticipate this. Good thing he's behind them, because she just had a blank face for a second and sits there going, what? What? Why? Most of the time people are just frazzled and, what?
He keeps wetting the brush and then moving back behind you. So he'll like step around real quick, dip the brush in the water, shake it, and then go back behind you and start doing scrubbing again. Because now he's gotten to the point that it had a lot of mud worked into it.
Yeah. They're a little taken aback. They're not sure how to keep going, actually.
Everything all right up there?
Yes.
You're getting kind of awful quiet. You typically talk a bit more than you are.
I was enjoying you cleaning me.
Oh, well. Figures the least I could do, and be awful hard for you to do this yourself, being that it's kind of at a tough angle for you to reach.
Agreed.
And, figure it's best to do this here before we travel any further together.
Agreed. If it wasn't for you, I'd just be soaking in the bath forever, so...
Mm-hmm. And I figured time's kind of important for you right now, so we don't really got time for you to soak for, all night to dislodge some of this.
This is true. Jupp?
Yes, Lavi?
Have you left your hometown very much before past this town?
Can't say that I have, actually. Come here a couple times for certain things, but ain't never went on the main roads before.
That man outside, the guards,
Mm-hmm.
they were quite rude.
It's true they were.
Is that how people normally treat people like me?
It's hard to say. I ain't never met somebody like you before. He kind of sort of realizes what he said and kind of sounds a little embarrassed at the end of his statement. I mean, it's not every day you meet somebody who's kind of, feathered, I guess. Yeah, that's what I mean.
What do you think of...
I ain't never had much interaction with all y'all before, so can't really say one way or the other. But y'all seem just fine to me.
Okay.
Well, these are all scrubbed up. Go ahead and soak a bit, if you don't mind.
Lavi lets themselves back into the basin, and...
He visibly relaxes.
This time they just sink down to pretty much like the tip of their nose.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're contemplating something.
Everything all right, Lavi?
They poke their head up higher. Maybe I'm not as good at flirting as I thought I was.
I'm sure you did just fine. Is something wrong?
I just... I didn't want to mess with you too much. And this, cocky atmosphere comes back.
Feel free to mess away. Though, I will need more of you to clean, though. He holds up the scrub brush.
Lavi kind of looks at themselves. I'm not exactly sure. They kind of turn a little, and then they pull up their claws.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Are you comfortable with cleaning these?
Well, they're probably the muddiest part of you.
Lavi glares from the water.
He kind of grabs hold of them one at a time and starts to work them over with the scrub brush. It's kind of strange because it's almost like holding hands.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
I'm just trying not to nick him with my claws.
Oh, he's pretty careful.
But I could if I wanted to.
Yeah, you probably could if you wanted to. Is that what you're attempting to do?
No, it's just like, if it looks like a spot that might be ticklish, Lavi's gonna tease him by pretending and, kind of having the talons tense up slightly.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to see his reaction.
He's pretty careful around your claws, so he's not gonna accidentally hurt himself, but he will definitely use one hand to steady and then the other hand with the scrub brush. And he sort of tries to keep himself out of the arc of your claws. So if they do tense up, they wouldn't hit him. But there was a lot of caked on mud that was in between the scales.
Yeah.
And he's getting it all scrubbed out. No, what makes you think you weren't flirting right?
Well, you said continue.
Is that a problem?
Most of the time,
you don't have to continue.
They get very flustered, especially if I blow some air at them.
Well, I know you were just teasing me, so I didn't think you were serious.
No, not at all. I was just surprised you asked me to continue. Most of the time people, others are just done at that point and, happy with the interaction, so I thought I disappointed.
I suppose I ain't fully flustered yet, then.
Lavi sinks their head down in the water because they're blushing.
Everything all right, Lavi? Water too hot for you?
Mm-mm.
I can cool it down if you need.
No. They pop out, their head out slightly. No.
He averts his gaze instantly as you pop up.
I like it when the water's hot. Like, really hot.
Alright.
And they sink back down again. It's easier to fluster someone when they're not cleaning dirty muck off of your talons. Or tail feathers.
I mean, it needed to be done, right?
True. I guess I've never flirted during cleaning.
Alright.
Gossip,
He gestures.
yes.
He gestures for your other talon.
Lavi adjusts and gives him the other one.
He starts scrubbing that one too. So, you normally flirt a lot then?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just for flirting's sake?
I think it's kind of fun. People get flustered. I enjoy their reaction.
But you ain't never flirted for profit.
Profit? You can get money?
I mean, flirting usually leads to certain things, yeah.
Innocent blinks.
Well, normally folk use flirting to court each other.
Oh, no. I'm sure others would like to court me.
Because them red feathers is all?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're nice, sure, but I don't really see why that alone would make you worth courting. I mean, I figure folk would want to meet you for your, figure out the kind of person you are. And
I mean,
that's why they
try to.
I mean, somebody that courts you just for your looks, well, that ain't really worth being around.
Well, Lavi shrugs. I don't really care what people think of me. I mean, I guess I do. I do like hearing compliments, but most of the time, others show me their true nature by how they talk about Pidge, my sister.
Oh, makes sense.
Any sort of comment about how she looked or what she was. Anything that could be remotely rude. I just didn't pay mind to anyone. If they couldn't love someone like my sister, how could I expect anyone for me? My sister's so much better than me. No one gives her the chance.
Some wise words. He finishes your other talon and lets it slip back under the water. Well, I think, aside from, your thighs, you're all clean, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate for me to clean.
Oh, do you want to?
He sort of stiffens up. I feel like that might be a bit of an invasion of privacy.
Lavi shrugs. Okay, if you're uncomfortable, that's fine.
Will you be able to do it yourself?
Probably. I'm pretty dexterous.
He nods and offers you the scrubber brush.
Lavi grabs it with their talons.
Correct. Yes. And yeah, you can reach that part of your body.
They're doing some weird yoga position.
It's not as hard as you think.
Well, not if you're used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you going to wash, or?
I was going to wait for you to finish, and then I was going to use the water. Unless you don't mind.
Lavi shrugs. I'm used to bathing with other people, but I just want you to be comfortable. It seems I've made you at least a little uncomfortable today, so I apologize, and you can do whatever you want.
He nods and says, well, we only have the room for a little bit longer, so I figure I better. As long as it's all right.
I already said it was, as Lavi just keeps scrubbing themselves and just paying no mind.
All right, he's going to disrobe as well and hop into the basin. And like I said, it's big enough just about to fit 3 people, so it's pretty cramped with 2. So he's kind of in there, and just the way it is sort of like you're touching a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he waits for you to finish scrubbing before he asks for it back, or asks for the brush so he can start working himself over.
Lavi holds out the brush with their talons.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now that was not exactly nice.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it. I've been hearing your voice all day. I just wanted to try it out.
If I didn't know better, I think you were making fun of me.
Oh.
He turns his back to you and starts scrubbing himself.
Aw. Come on, Jupp. I mean no ill will. Aw, who's being a little humpy now? They lean forward again and blow air by his ear.
Are they touching his back at all?
They might.
I didn't know if they were leaning into him.
Probably, yeah.
He's gonna freeze up again at the feeling of you pressing your body against his. Lavi, are you all right?
Yeah. Are you?
Well, just having somebody touching them like this is a bit forward, unless you're intending on.
Intending on what?
Well, being with somebody, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jupp.
Lavi
leans back and starts to get up.
Jupp averts his gaze.
They go and get a towel and start fluffing themselves.
Jupp quickly finishes scrubbing himself over. He was much less muddy, so it takes him less time.
By the end of Lavi toweling off, they're just poof.
They're just totally puffed up as a fluff ball.
Mm-hmm. And now they're working on getting their sarong back on.
Nice.
And there we go. I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, let me just put my stuff back on here and we can get moving, alright?
Alright.
He hops out of the tub, towels off real quick, and gets his garments back on. Well, we should probably find either some folk that are heading south to travel with. Makes it easier if we travel in a group, of course.
Oh, alright.
Or we can call it a night if you feel too tired to keep going.
I'm never too tired for Pidge. But what about you?
I mean, I've been walking a long time today, and I could probably use a bit of a break, but I don't...
But we could sleep in the wagon.
I mean, if they'll let us.
You could sleep in the wagon.
He just laughs at that.
I will do work for both of us, so that you can rest.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Lavi.
You're
mighty
welcome,
kind.
Jupp.
He unlocks the door, opens it, and heads back out into the main part of the tavern.
Lavi following close behind. They have their wings on their items again.
You enter the main part of the tavern, and you hear the beginnings, well, maybe not beginnings, but you hear an argument taking place.
What's the argument?
It's difficult to tell, but it appears to be someone with an accent similar to Jupp's, yelling about prices being outrageous.
I wonder what that's all about.
Jupp shrugs and says, should we ask the folks outside to travel with them, or should we try to find some folks in here?
Maybe in here, I don't know. They didn't seem to like me out there with the guards, at least. So, since we're here, might as well try here, right?
He nods. All right. You turn and you see a couple that are standing up by the bar. One of them is yelling at the bar keep. She's pretty strange looking. You've actually never seen someone quite like her before.
Describe her?
She's pretty short. She's wearing like a weird, overly tight corseted dress, and she's got literal actual horns.
Oh my god. I think I know who that is. Is that Pringle?
And she's yelling at the barkeep.
Excuse me? Lavi kind of goes over curiously.
Jump's like, are you sure you should be doing that?
Well, something's wrong with her. She's got things coming out of her head.
That's a tiefling. Come over here. He grabs you by the arm and starts to pull you away.
Okay.
They can be dangerous.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They got devil blood in them.
Oh. Can we cure it?
No, they're born like that.
They're born like that?
Mm-hmm. Same as you was born like that, and I was born like this.
I've never seen one before, though. And Lavi keeps, moving their head back to look at her.
And I don't imagine that she exactly likes being gawked at, so maybe don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Especially if she notices.
Sorry. Lavi puts their head down. It's pretty crowded in here, right?
The person you're staring at, it's turns almost as if hearing the two of you talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Jupp will quickly grab you and pull you into a kiss.
I push him away.
He does not even look back at you. He looks back over and sees that the two of you weren't noticed by the other person. Whew, that was close.
Lavi looks like they're in shock. And then they just walk around him and leave the bar.
He realizes something is terribly wrong and will follow. Lavi? Everything all right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I wanted to make sure that, that thing didn't see us.
Lavi turns slightly. They have one wing kind of covering their mouth. They look a little teary-eyed. I'm fine.
What's wrong? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
Their faces beat red. That was...
Everything okay?
I just didn't expect that to be my first kiss. And they turn and they continue walking. They don't know where they're going. They're just walking.
He is absolutely dumbfounded as to what you just said. And you start to walk away. And that is where we're going to fade to black. He's slack jaw on floor at what you just said. Oh, poor Lavi.
Poor Lavi.
Poor Lavi. Aww. Their first kiss was a distraction kiss.
That's so sad.
Oh, damn. Well, it leaves 4 additional characters to choose from.
That's true.
So I require a D4.
A D4. Okay.
1d4 to determine your character.
That is a 2 again.
Okay. All right. Well, then I believe this brings us to it's nighttime.
It's nighttime.
It's nighttime. Your face is covered in warm rain.
I know who I am. I'm Pringle.
You're filled with righteous anger.
Okay.
But at the same time, a sense of purpose. Maybe that you didn't have before. You know a few things, and that is that you have been told to get to a specific place and to stop a specific enemy, but you don't really have any intervening steps. So you're not sure what you need to do next, but you know that the way is long and that you are recommended to find or trick some people into helping you. So Pringle is standing there outside of the destroyed convent.
Mm-hmm.
What is she doing?
Oh gosh. Well,
go ahead.
I don't even know where to go. And since my organization was technically secretive, there aren't really any free ins for me.
Correct. Yeah. Not a whole lot of devil worshippers living in the Holy City.
But we belong here because it is the Holy City. We all know everyone around here actually worships Mephistopheles. However, it just so happens that everyone's really bad at remembering his name.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Do you see this 11 intelligence, my friend?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pringle's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No bonus.
Yeah, but I mean, still, their lowest stat's an 11. Pretty good character.
I'm the best.
It's right there in the motto.
Right there. Yep. I'm the best. I'm the only one currently. Well, there are plenty of worshippers. They just don't know it yet. Silly people. They're so cute. Gosh, I guess since I don't know where to go, I'm going to pray for a sign from Mephistopheles.
Okay, just right in the middle of the street.
Yeah, why not? This is Pringle.
Okay, this is Pringle. All right. So, describe how you pray.
Okay, so Pringle isn't really searching for attention from anyone else, so it's very close. They stand really still. They have their hands clasped together under their chin, their lips lightly touching the edge of one of their fingers, and they just whisper, "Please send me a sign. Anything. I don't know where to go. I need your assistance and your guidance."
All right. At that point, a horse is going to run into you.
A horse?
You're standing in the middle of the street.
Yes.
And you have your eyes, I'm assuming, closed.
Yes.
A horse is going to run into you. I would like you to make a reflex save.
This sounds about right. Oh, that +1. Oh,
Hey.
20. Nice. Go.
19 plus 1.
Go
Good job.
Pringle.
Go Pringle.
Go Pringle.
All right. So you get hit by a horse,
Yeah.
but you're able to catch yourself before you truly fall into the mud,
Mm-hmm.
and you end up keeping your balance. You just sort of end up sliding a few feet on the wet, muddy street.
Oh, and it's kind of got that water skid since Pringle doesn't wear shoes. They're completely barefoot. It's kind of a little more elegant, actually. There's this water skid. They have their balance. They look very cute. Plus, their skirt, the way it's arranged, it twirls around them very nicely.
So while you skid, you also spin around and see your attacker, I guess, for lack of a better term. You see a man riding a horse, and he looks very annoyed with you. Make a knowledge local check, if you have that.
I'm gonna assume people just really
Don't.
hate me.
I
No.
believe Pringle has 2 skill ranks, one
Yep.
in bluff and one in diplomacy. So
I
yeah,
got
Pringle don't know.
No
Jack.
knowledge, nothing.
All right, so go ahead and make me an intelligence check then.
Okay, that does great for me. 5.
5. All right. So you don't really know what this dude is, who he is.
Yeah.
He's dressed in a particular way, but it seems kind of familiar. You've seen people like that dressed in town before. You don't really know what it means exactly.
Of course not.
But he is really pretty pissed looking at you. And he calls down, "What the hell are you doing in the middle of the street?"
I was praying. What are you doing trying to run me over? Don't you see where you're walking? Where you're clapping?
It's a dark night. It's raining. I'd prefer to not stand out here and get rained on, and I'd prefer to not accidentally run over whatever it is you are in the night.
Oh, my name is... What? You know what? You're probably going to have too much trouble saying my name. My name's Pringle. Not answering the "what are you?"
Uh-huh. Well, look, how about you get off the street or something and get out of my hair, alright?
Gosh, you don't have to be so rude, sir. I just got kicked out of my home. Life's just a little bit harder right now.
He looks you over. He's going to think for a moment. Kicked out of your home, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But you're guessing your dad fucked a cow or something, and that's why you got them horns?
Nope.
Nope, you're right. It's a goat.
Nope. I flutter.
Look, it's raining. It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
I've got places to be, and I don't really have time to deal with an orphan. He kind of shrugs.
Pringle shrugs. Look, you're the one who ran over me and then decided to stop. You could have just kept going, I guess. Doesn't really affect me. I assume you're actually feeling kind of bad about the fact that you ran over me since you are stopping in the middle of the rain. Where are you headed to, sir? And Pringle pulls their arms forward enough to accentuate certain areas in front of them.
Certain areas?
Certain areas.
Certain areas that apparently need accentuating?
Yes, they do, okay? She's very sensitive about that.
Alright, make a diplomacy check.
Oh boy, that's the only thing other than bluff that I have a skill in. 18.
Alright. He thinks for a second. Look, you're right. I didn't mean to run you over, alright? It was an accident. It's dark out and it's raining, like I've said, and I've got places to be, but look, do you have someplace to go?
No, not at all.
You're just gonna stand out here in the rain?
Oh no, actually, I was just thinking you could just take me wherever you're going. Smile. I flutter. I'm just gonna get on the back of your horse here.
Excuse me?
Why not?
Look.
Yes, sir?
What I'm about to do isn't exactly legal.
Oh, are you about to kill someone? They have a weird smile on their face.
He looks around to make sure there's no one else around. What if I am?
Can I watch?
Alright. He's going to think about that for a second. And he gets a sly smile on his face. Says, you know what? Up on this horse.
Pringle just totters over, just gets on the horse very easily, actually. As short as they are. Their tail is actually what boosts them slightly, though it's very subtle. So, since it's dark, I don't think he would have noticed.
Okay. Well, I mean, he definitely sees that you're,
Oh, then I have a tail, but I don't think he noticed that I used it to help myself up.
Oh, I see. By the way, he introduces himself as you hop on the horse. His name's Karstein.
Karstein, huh? That's a cute name. Can I call you Car? Car.
Kind of grimaces, and he's like, look,
I could call you Stein, but it just sounds like I have a tall drink of water with I flutter.
He just whips the reins of his horse and starts moving down the street again.
Cool.
So you think, between hearing his name and seeing his clothes, you think you might have heard of this guy at one time or another.
Does he have any tattoos on him or anything?
None that you can see, but he's currently wearing clothes that cover pretty much his entire body.
Okay.
So, it's very possible he has tattoos under his shirt or something. But from what you can see, he's simply dressed as maybe a low-key thug at this point. He's not really wearing reasonably high-quality armor or weaponry. But you do think that his name and his general look and clothes seem familiar somehow. Like I said, you've seen these guys or people like him around town before.
Okay. Well, Pringle's just not that observant.
That's very true. Pringle is not observant.
She tries, but she's got other things on her mind, like her one true love, and get more people to worship him. I mean, everyone worships him, but, they're just a little confused slightly.
They just don't know it yet.
I just don't know it yet. And then they give him a bunch of weird nicknames, and I'm just trying to set them on their straight and narrow path towards Mephistopheles, my one true love, and only my love. Smile.
So, he rides down through the streets for a little while, and eventually ends up in an area of, you would guess, about middle-class housing over on the western part of town. So over on the western block of town, he rides for a little while, and eventually comes to a middle-class home where he stops, and he's going to say, this is our stop, so do you want to just hide in an alleyway somewhere, or what?
I can help if you want. I'm just really curious. And Pringle kind of shifts slightly to where their cloak moves enough to where their maul is showing.
Well, seems fortunate that I ran into you tonight then, huh?
Yeah, I guess it is. I think it may be a sign.
You don't often meet a
cute, adorable, sweet.
I mean, I was just gonna say a little thing that carries around a a whacking stick like that?
It's called My Lover's Mercy.
Sure thing. Hop off the horse, would you?
All right. And they slide off the horse pretty much, and they balance themselves with their tail as subtly as possible. I think it's just an instinctive thing that they just use their tail a lot. It is a prehensile tail.
Right. Makes sense to me. Okay.
And Pringle herself walks around on her tiptoes normally.
Mm-hmm. So that would put her at about what height?
Ooh, she is 5'2", so I guess that would give her 1 more inch.
Okay. So still fairly short even with the tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She is shorty.
No, Karstein himself is not really that big of a person anyway. He's about 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
So he's still taller than you, but you wouldn't consider him a tall person. So he's going to hop off his horse, and he's going to lash it to a nearby lashing post, and he's going to walk up to one of the houses. What do you do?
I guess I'll follow him?
Alrighty. In that case, he knocks on the door, back of his hand, with his knuckles, and a moment later the door opens up and you see a tired-looking man in his mid-40s that is about average height but very, very fat. He's got an unkempt facial hair and he's got very big, bushy eyebrows. He opens the door and then recognizes who's standing there, and he's immediately taken aback in a bit of fear.
Do I recognize this man?
You've never seen him before.
I've never seen him. Okay.
At that point, Karstein will say, "Aldwin, you fat shit. It's good to see you again." The fat man sort of stammers and takes a step back, and Karstein will push, kind of strong arm the door open and go ahead and walk into the house. Do you wish to stand outside and wait?
Oh no, I'm coming with him.
Okay.
I'm very curious currently.
You push your way into the house as well.
But Pringle's very cute about it. They lightly close the door behind them. They kind of dust it off slightly with their tail. Can I look around the house and see what it looks like? Just from where I'm standing? Sure.
It's a pretty standard middle-class home in the Holy City. So it has basic village decor, modest room dressings. I mean, it's not a fantastic home, but it's still a reasonable place to live. You imagine this is a merchant of some success, enough that he lives in a comfortable place. It does appear that he's home alone, though. You don't hear any other noises in the house.
Well, my perception is shit, so it's not like that's gonna matter.
At least not without rolling a perception check. But Karstein is leveling some threats at this guy, and seems to be making the accusation that he hasn't paid in quite a while. So he's behind on some payments.
Can I do a perception check to see if I can tell if anyone else is in this building?
Absolutely.
14.
You don't hear anything else in the building. It is possible that this man lives alone, or it's possible his family's just out of town.
Okay. While he's making the accusations, I'm going to, since he was talking about money, I'm gonna go look and see if I can find where he might stash some.
Okay. You start searching his house, and at this point, the fat man is going to kind of start to pay attention to you more, and he's going to start asking Karstein what the hell's going on, and who is this person? What are you doing? He eventually yells over you to stop whatever it is you're doing. These are his things, and you can't have them.
Pringle's ear twitch and looks over at Karsten first. Raises their eyebrow to see if he wants her to stop.
Karstein looks at you, and he kind of gives you a sort of a half smile, and then he grabs the sword he has like a saber at his side. Mm-hmm. And he kind of rests both hands on the saber and looks back at the merchant. The merchant notices this sort of threatening gesture, and he shuts up.
How cute. A Pringle, while using their tail as well as one of their hands, they're using their left hand to twirl some of their hair. Mm-hmm. It's so cute whenever people think they're so strong. Something gets taken away from them just a little too much. And then when you put a blade next to them, they become little puddles. Poor things. You know, with a little bit of guidance, you could have avoided all of this. Pringle...
Guidance?
Pringle looks over and smiles. Well, for sure. However, I'm just here as a little bit of a... Let's just say a little bit of a guide's help currently to this nice young man. And, well, he may deserve some help from my guide, but... I'm not so sure you do. Now, I believe that one must follow a contract when they sign one. And, well, if you've broken yours without following suit of paying at correct times, and Pringle's kind of destroying things as they're looking. Let's say they, pull the drawers out and they just let them drop if they're not interesting.
Nice.
And they're doing this too slow. Like, it's to torture him.
Mm-hmm. And you can see, like, he's at this point, he's got, like, beads of sweat on his forehead, and he's murmuring to himself as you're doing this.
Now, I could keep going through your house and destroying pretty much everything. I'm very clumsy. Oops, another drawer drops. This time the handle stays in Pringle's hand. Well, that one wasn't even my fault. They drop the handle. You could just tell me where, your payment is. And, well, all your other money. Then we would just let you go, I assume. Or not. It depends on how easy you are to work with.
Karstine turns toward the merchant and says, well, my friend here is mostly correct. You would have done yourself a lot of, mitigation of this sort of pain if you had just cooperated earlier, but, Syndicate doesn't take too kindly to people not paying on time.
Oh!
And,
me as a player.
and, I'm afraid that my higher-ups have told me that we're to extract this payment in the form of blood. So, I suppose if you gave us enough gold, we would forget about all this and go about our way, but he kind of shrugs, and if not, I suppose that, orders are orders.
It's true. All contracts must be served out in accordance to their scripture. So, you have your options. Pay up, sweetheart. Pringle winks.
The merchant starts to stammer and say that he doesn't have any money.
Oh, I don't believe that.
It's all in investments right now. He doesn't have anything to pay with.
Pringle walks over. The fluff of their tail goes from his feet, and it slowly swoops up to his chin. Oh, sweetheart. You think he's the strongest one in this room currently? And they smile, and their pointed teeth are shown far more in this really wide smile.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Do you want to just keep living, or is this a death wish? Because I can give you either or. I just want to know what it is so I can serve it out. And Pringle starts to move, and they pull their mace out, and they put one finger on an edge of the blade and pull their finger down, giving themselves a slight cut. Now, this is my lover's mercy right here. Would you prefer mercy or to pay?
He just continues stammering that he doesn't have any money. You're all mistaken. He doesn't have any money. It's all in investments, he keeps saying.
Alright, I guess you can just die and I'll go through your house. Pringle raises their mace.
He begs and says if you just be patient, he can have your money.
Contract is a contract, sweetheart.
Karstine will nod.
Okay.
And at that point, what he's going to do is he's going to put a hand on one of this merchant's shoulders and sort of force him down onto his knees in front of you.
Last chance. Are you ready to... Well, you would never meet Mephistopheles. But I really wish I could have given you his eternal hellfire, but since you were so terrible, I guess I just gotta kill you. Anyways.
He starts just babbling at this point. He's
Alright.
Crying. He's crying and babbling.
I'm gonna swing my mace down.
Alright. Okay, like a headshot is what you're shooting for?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, he is currently helpless, so it's a very easy shot. So go ahead and roll an attack.
13?
Okay. It's an easy hit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's helpless, so it's a very easy shot. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to critical miss or critical hit.
I could have just splattered him.
That's true. So it is an automatic critical hit since he's helpless. So if in the modifiers, go ahead and hit a critical. And then go ahead and roll your damage.
That is 17 damage.
Alright, you deal 17 points of damage and very much kill him. His head is kind of crushed in, and his body drops to the ground.
Pringle has a wicked smile on her face. And then looks disappointed.
Interesting. So,
yeah, what's up?
Why the disappointment?
Well, he could have just made my life easier and just tell me where his money was. Now I actually gotta look for it. But I guess sinner's gonna sin.
Syndicate's not really interested in his money anymore anyway. At this point, it was to send a message to everyone else in the area.
Ooh, fun.
Tell me, just how lucky am I to have just stumbled across you in the middle of the night?
Well, I believe my lord has sent me to assist you currently.
Cute little thing like you that seems to take pleasure in the line of work that I'm in.
I'm the best of the best, thank you very much.
He kind of looks you up and down, and you recognize the look on his face.
Ah, I see. Pringle just smiles and flutters their eyelashes. Now, is there anything you do to the body past just letting it be gooey? Because otherwise I can write some symbols in the ground and that would be fun.
He just smiles and kind of gestures to it and says, "Be my guest."
Alright, Pringle's gonna put in the symbol of Mephistopheles with his blood.
Nice. You start drawing various infernal scripts on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Carsine's going to start rooting through his stuff, looking for anything of even moderate value that he can steal.
Oh, there is one drawer I actually didn't open up over there. Pringle's tail is pointing while they're drawing. I wasn't actually sure if it had something specific in it. However, I believe there was some items, maybe. I didn't want to break it since they looked breakable, just in case you might have needed it. I tried to be more subtle with that one. And Pringle just drawn. They look very happy.
Carstine continues to loot the house, and will do so for as long as you're drawing symbols.
Alright. Now this will send a message that those who do not worship Mephistopheles and respect contracts will also be taken care of. And I left a little signal. Do you have a little sigil for the syndicate, sweetheart?
He looks at you and says, "The people who need to know will know."
Alright, just wanted to check. I want to make sure you got what you wanted. Pringle winks.
Not yet, I haven't.
And Pringle just wipes. There wasn't even blood on their face, but they wiped their hand with their face. So there's now blood smeared across their face. I think I did that wrong. Oh well.
He's going to take a step forward and attempt to kiss you.
Oh, Pringle will let him. And then they're waiting for signals if he's going to stop or not.
I mean, maybe give him like a 5 count, and then he breaks the kiss. And he's like, "You are just... Where did you come from?"
God.
Ah!
Singular. There is only one. Would you like to learn more about it?
You know how long it's been since I've met someone that has even tolerated this kind of work?
Well, I don't know you, and I just met you today. However, my God has sent me on a journey, and... well, I guess you must have been waiting at least about 23 years. There ain't nobody like me, sir.
Now that, I might just believe.
Pringle looks very proud of that.
So, you think you might have a future in this line of work?
Doing God's work? Sure. Anyone who breaks a contract is against my lord. And Pringle kind of has one hand outstretched. They're looking at their nails. Kind of brings it back forward to look at them. And does this gesture a couple of times. It's a very popular girl kind of action, if you understand what I'm talking about.
Well, God, the Syndicate, it's all the same to me.
And what do you want out of life, Car?
Well, I'm mostly interested in, well, I guess if I had to put it down into one thing, I suppose it would be power. I enjoy, well, what we just did here.
Me too. It was so fun. Look at all the drawings I made. And Pringle just moves their arms out to look at the floor.
What's all that mean, anyway?
Oh, it's the word of my lord. I was pretty much just telling anyone else around here that those who don't, understand contracts and those who are traitorous to my lord will receive similar punishments. Or they could join him. There's also some fine detail in here. It's pretty much like a contract on a floor.
He kind of just takes all that in. It's like, well, this was a fine evening's worth of work. I think that we both earned a bit of a libation. Are you thirsty?
Well, sure. Yeah, that sounds lovely.
He gives you a nod and turns and starts walking toward the door.
Pringle glares at him from behind, but smiles soon after and walks behind him. Oh, so we know Pringle isn't a good person.
Oh, no, and neither is this guy. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
These are a couple of terrible people here.
A couple of terrible kids.
A couple of troubled teens.
Double trouble, one might say. Teens? Pringle's an adult.
So, Karstein's going to get back on the horse and wait for you to also hop on.
Which Pringle does with ease. Now that he's a bit more familiar with Pringle, they're actually going to wrap their tail around his waist, and they're going to hold his waist with their arms as well and lean forward so that they're attached to him more. Before, they were respectful of space.
As you're riding, he has one hand on the reins, and one hand he's running over back and forth across your tail.
Alright. Pringle knows what this means. Pringle's not as stupid as Soul.
So he's going to ride down the street a little ways, and he's going to leave the merchant district of town, and he's going to go closer to the center of town, and he is going to enter more of a, I want to quite say entertainment district, but something like that.
Oh, like where bards might be.
Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah.
Disgusting. I think they get their power from some goddess. She's very fickle, very rude. I mean, Mephistopheles is a man. A man.
All right, let's see. How about the Blushing Bard? Is that a decent name for a
yeah,
you think?
It's cute.
Okay, add that.
Could there be any more obvious?
All right, so he rides over to the Blushing Bard near the center of town, and it is a fairly raucous tavern. Ties up his horse outside with a bunch of other ones and walks in. He just assumes you're following him.
Oh, yeah. Pringle gently pats the horse's nose and then follows.
He walks in, and as he does, there's a tavern wench that is holding a large plate of ales, and she's talking to someone else, and as her head is turned, he's going to walk up and just grab two of them very smoothly in one quick action. He's going to grab two of them and then walk over to a nearby empty table. He sits down and places them both on the table, one across from himself.
Pringle sits across from him. Why, shoot, sugar. That's so sweet of you.
Learned a long time ago that the best thing you can do is to look out for yourself and take what you want.
Now why don't you tell me about this little syndicate?
Sure. They run most of this country.
Wow.
In one way or another. Keep everybody on the level. Make sure everybody's playing by the same rules.
Now, what deity does the syndicate worship?
Not really much of a religious organization, I should say. We were more of a loose organization of like-minded people.
So there's always room for God, huh?
Sure.
Pringle's tail twitches in annoyance under the table.
I think the only god the organization may worship is coin.
Lots of people do that. That's not actually God, though.
You're very fixated on religion, aren't you?
Oh, it's been everything for me.
Why is that?
Oh, it saved me from being on the streets originally, and it was taken away from me a bit ago. Not the religion itself, but rather the people who came along with it. I'm kind of trying to fix wrongs in this world.
That's what we're all doing in our own way.
Well, shoot, sugar.
I was tragically born not wealthy.
Pringle's tail twitches under the table again.
And I'm trying to right that wrong.
Yeah.
It also helps when you really enjoy bloodshed. A lot of people are squeamish about it. Never quite understood why some folks were.
People are squeamish? About blood? That doesn't sound right.
he takes a nice gulp of his ale and then sets it back down and kind of just takes your visage in for a bit, looks at you. So, you're a tiefling.
That is what people call me. That is correct.
Don't often see your kind around. You new in the city?
Well, I've always been here. I don't really know why. I was just, I don't know, from the earliest days I can remember, I was on the streets here.
Well, guess that makes two of us. He holds up his ale to cheer with you.
Pringle takes their tail and wraps it around the handle of the mug and lifts it up to clink against his. They have their arms properly placed in their lap. They look like a cute little lady.
You certainly make a lot of use of that, don't you?
Yeah, I don't really get how people can't do things like this. It's kind of sad, actually. It's very helpful. And Pringle sips their ale. If I'm looking at this person, he said he grew up on the streets, too.
Yes.
Would he look... I don't know if Pringle would remember this. Would he look like any of Pringle's assailants from their past?
You don't think so, but like I said, he did seem oddly familiar.
Yeah. And you've never met a tiefling before?
I mean, I may have seen one of your kind once or twice, but like I said, you're all kind of rare.
I sure am. Pringle flips their hair back with their left hand. I would like to think I look quite unique and cute, personally.
I should say so. He leans in and rests his head on a hand, supported by his elbow on the table. He kind of leans forward a little bit. So, what kind of plans do you have, Pringle?
I plan on expanding my religion. Pringle's no bars held, I think that's the phrase, kind of person. So, she's pretty honest, unless she needs to be deceptive. I plan on expanding my religion and helping everyone have the ability to forever be blessed with Mephistopheles' eternal hailfire.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you go about doing that?
Contracts.
Contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, per se, I'm willing to give a lot of stuff for people to be willing to worship Mephistopheles. It's what I'm meant to do on this world, is to help people worship him.
Now, is Mephistopheles going to have any issue with me, say, doing what I just did in that house?
No, not at all. Why would he?
And would this Mephistopheles have any issue with me, say, accruing a lot of wealth?
No, not at all. Actually, the more you do within a contract to do such things, and perhaps even loopholes, Pringle winks. He's pretty happy with that sort of thing.
Kind of smirks at the idea. So he's kind of a trickster god.
Oh no, he's completely honest. Within means. Within smart means, that is.
So he's a sly god.
No, I don't like that word. It sounds slimy. Slimy. He's the greatest thing in this world, I think. I mean, after all, he brought me here. He's probably the greatest for that.
You certainly seem to have a personal connection with your religion.
Yes, I do.
So are you like a priest?
Cleric.
Guess that would explain he points at your holy symbol. Guess that would explain that then, huh?
Pringle puts their hand next to it. Very sweet, and of course, in doing this gesture, their chest gets accentuated. Yeah, he blessed this with me one day when he saved me from people who wished me harm, actually. That's when I knew that he was here for me and I was here for him.
Now, who would want to wish harm on something as cute as you?
Well, as you put it when we first met, I might have been half goat or cow. Pringle's still smiling.
Look, I apologize. Think that, well...
Oh, sure, it's okay. Most people just tend to think that way, and I completely understand. However, it is my duty, as a cleric of Mephistopheles, is to accept others for their short-sightedness in such events. I'm here to save everyone, and sometimes you just gotta take a little bit of hardship in order to do some good. And I believe what you just did was some real good, since you just took care of someone who, well, didn't listen to a contract, and in the eyes of my lord, that's pretty damn good.
So no hard feelings about those comments earlier?
Oh, no, not at all, sweetheart.
He looks reassured from that. Well, good. Because couldn't see you very well in the street there. Well, now that we're in a more well-lit place, you look kind of charming. Yeah. Exotic, I think is how I put it.
Pringle switches their tail under the table and they lean forward to drink with their hands. They use both hands to drink. Mm-hmm. Because they're kind of tiny nonetheless, so it also accentuates cuteness when she drinks with two hands and kind of has to lean back their body a little bit to get a drink. But under the table, their tails kind of twitching again. Yeah, some might call me that. Well, shoot. I guess I always thought of my skin kind of glowing like the sun, or a fiery ball of hellfire in some ways. And I know my hair's a bit different, and well, don't see many people with horns. I do understand that. I may look a little strange, but I think I have a very endearing quality to myself. Exotic. Pringle's tail keeps twitching under the table. Well, sugar, you should have been asking about my god quite a bit. Well, since I was sent here to help you out, would you be interested in signing a contract?
What sort of contract?
Well, it would mostly just say that you would be given Mephistopheles' divine grace if you were ever to need his help, as long as you worship him. That's it.
That's it?
Do you want more from him?
He takes a long sip of ale, finishes the tankard, sets it down, swallows, thinks for a minute. Maybe later.
Alright.
I think I may need to learn a bit more about this whole situation more.
That's completely understandable. I get it. Well, it is true, though, that I'm here to assist you. He sent me a sign, and it just happened to be you running me over. So, as long as you would like, may I accompany you?
Kind of has another smirk on his face. You could do more than that.
Pringle nods and smiles. Their tails still twitching underneath the table.
Angry tail twitches.
Oh, yeah. They're pissed.
Oh, yeah. Another ale?
Oh, Oh, shoot, sugar. That sounds delightful.
He stands up, makes a round around the bar, and then comes back with 2 more ales. By the way, make a fortitude for your first ale.
All right. That's a nat 1. 5.
Ooh, a nat 1. Oh, Pringle.
Oh,
bit of a lightweight tonight.
She's so tiny.
She's so tiny?
She's so tiny.
Okay. So, imagine you've gone to, like, tipsy.
Okay.
So, yeah, Pringle now is in the tipsy category. Second one is already laid in front of you. So, you just want to just accompany me, just like that.
Do you have arguments?
I mean...
I understand if you do not want my assistance. I just, in that house over there, I was very helpful.
I think I admire your technique, actually. I mean, normally I'd have just, slit his throat or something, but...
I just like seeing people squirm if they're a bit of a lawbreaker, personally.
Well, hopefully you're not upset if somebody breaks any law.
Oh, no,
ones, right?
Just contracts, mostly.
Oh, good.
For the most part. That was more under Pringle's breath.
So, I have a few more jobs in the city.
You don't say.
Mm-hmm.
And you would like little old Pringle's assistance?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I mean, if you seem interested in coming along, I guess.
Well, I did offer first, so really it's your decision on this one.
Yeah, I think I should probably take you back and have you meet the boss.
Oh, there's a boss. You're not the boss, Car. Could have fooled me.
He looks like genuinely tickled by that. Well, I mean, someday maybe.
Ooh.
Figure I do enough work, will advance me up, and...
That is very commendable. And Pringle has a very pointed gesture where they flick their finger forward and their hand retracts. It's almost the fabulous hand gesture, but it's just with a finger. Why, darling, with my assistance and Mephistopheles behind me, perhaps we can get you there. I flutter.
Think you could write that into your contract?
Well, I could. However, I do want more worshippers, and I don't know how many heads I need to bust in order to make that happen, actually.
Oh, imagine if you prove the value of your god's blessings, then, maybe the whole organization would be interested in converting.
Pringle's tail stops twitching under the table, and they have a genuine, just pure, happy smile on their face. Both of their hands go to their chest. Do you mean it?
He doesn't quite understand why you're so ecstatic, but he responds anyway. I don't see why not. Like I said, they're not really much of a religious organization as it is, but...
I could bring the holy hellfire into their organization and truly save their souls. Oh my gosh, Car, you are a genius. I'm so glad Mephistopheles sent me to save you.
He toasts the ale with you again.
Pringle toasts, but they didn't fully finish their first tankard, so they've been pretending to be drinking out of both of them while just exchanging the liquid here and there by just taking small sips, but then some of the sips go back into the other tankard.
Gotcha. So you're trying to deceive him?
Yes.
With how much you drank? Okay. Make a bluff check, please.
That's a 23.
Excellent. All right. So the evening will go on then for a while, and he will get fairly destroyed. Whereas I imagine you sort of just stay around the tipsy area.
Yeah.
Okay.
She drank enough to, whenever needed to, was just like, oh, I'll just keep the buzz. Sip a little. Alright, I'm good. Pringle just looks like she's really good at drinking.
Karstine is going to drunkenly and probably clumsily ask if you are interested in going up to the room that he rented at the inn.
Well, sugar, I would love to.
He kind of stands up, steadies himself, and ushers you over the staircase going upstairs.
Oh, just a moment. I'm just gonna freshen up a little bit before I get ready for bed. Is that alright?
He gives you a grin and then walks on upstairs.
Pringle, as soon as he's out of sight, their cute smile it comes to a rolling eye motion. Pringle turns to the waitress that I assume he was stealing from.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sweetheart.
Oh, hello there.
Hi there.
Can I get you something?
No, actually, that person I was with, he kind of stole some of your drinks, and I was hoping if I could give you some money to pay for it. I just don't appreciate such injustices.
Oh, well, we had some drinks turn up missing through the night.
I'm so sorry. I think he was trying to feed me drinks, and I'm so embarrassed. And Pringle starts to look like she's about to cry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you need us to call the guards?
Well, I don't really know if I'm in trouble or not. I was kicked out of my home recently.
She moves herself over, to stand beside you and, puts an arm around you. It's all right. It's all right. You're safe now. And she says, here, come with me. And she ends up walking you into the kitchen. A few of the other staff end up kind of gathering around.
The thing is, he said he would sign my release papers if I came with him. And even though I drank with him, he still insists that I go upstairs and... I'm sorry, I can't. Pringle wipes away a fake tear.
Bluff check, please.
Okay, oh god. Please, Pringle. 18.
An 18. Alright. It may be a fake tear. You mime a tear.
Mm-hmm.
You actually shed a real one.
Pringle's got no tears for this boy.
It's enough. So what they're going to do is they're going to go... One of them goes off to fetch the guard. The rest of the waitstaff ask if there's anything they can do to help.
Gosh, well... I'm not really sure. I don't have much left in this world anymore. I don't know really where I'm going to be put, but I believe that man might be a bit traitorous, and I believed his promises. What am I supposed to do?
You can see the staff kind of talking with each other, and they're like, Are you any good at carrying drinks?
Pringle uses their tail to pick up a nearby tankard. Like this?
How many can you hold at a time?
Are there any trays around?
Yeah, there's a tray around.
Can Pringle lift up a tray of tankards with their tail?
Yes.
Pringle does that. I could probably do that with that and both my arms.
Would you like to stay here for a while and, you can pay for your keep by working?
Maybe a little bit. There's actually some information that I'm looking for, but I think it might put y'all in danger, so I don't want to ask it.
What do you mean?
Well, that boy up there, he's part of a thing called a syndicate.
They all look a little bit scared to hear that.
Now...
Oh, you got mixed up with the syndicate?
Now, I got some questions. I'm trying to find out where that boy's base is, actually, but I don't know how safe I am in doing this. It's sort of a holy mission, if you might so know of such things. I'm just scared. Could I perhaps ask you to... or help me write down some prayers in a way to help me seek guidance for these vengeful people? I don't know if I'll make it, but if it helps people like you who are so willing to help me out by giving me work, then it's worth it in my book. Would y'all mind just signing this paper over here? Just all of my, earthly possessions would go to y'all if anything were to happen to me.
Okay, so you're going to hand them a contract?
Yeah.
And what is the actual contract about?
There's fine print.
Okay.
So it does say, in case of certain actions, Pringle would give up earthly possessions to these people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's very vague about what an earthly possession is, even.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very sweetly written. It's got script writing. It's all cursive. It looks like it was ordained by someone official in a way who would have been like, yes, you will, of course. You just need to have someone sign this. And very, ever so tiny print. It's like, you get Pringle's possessions, however, your soul is Mephistopheles. If anything happens to her, you need to take up the reins. Kind of thing.
You get her earthly possessions, but must take up her holy quest.
Yeah.
And
I don't have a lot.
And you're telling them that this is saying that they get all your stuff in case you get hurt or die?
Yes.
And you said something about signing a release paper? What did you mean by that?
Oh, well, I was gonna try to make them get it so that I could get his hand cut, but then I decided I still want to get into the syndicate, so Pringle changed their mood a little bit, and was like, you know what, I'll just get some followers. I was just like, this is a holy journey. Mm-hmm.
So, some of the people don't quite understand what's happened, but if it makes you feel better, some of them do sign that.
Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, if you wouldn't mind having the guards follow me and this gentleman later.
What? We can't let you go back up there now. The guard will be here soon anyway.
He might hurt all of us.
They'll arrest him and take him to the prison. Don't worry, he can't hurt you anymore.
Okay. Let's see. Do you mind if I at least have a room somewhere here?
Well, of course. You can stay with us. There's an employee bunk in the back. I don't think anyone's using it tonight, so it's all yours if you need it.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm just gonna freshen up a little bit before I go to bed. I'll be there in a bit. Thank you all so much.
They show you off in the direction that it is.
Mm-hmm. Pringle's gonna wait until everyone leaves, and then they're going to go upstairs.
Okay. Would you like to make a stealth check for me?
For the people?
To sneak upstairs without being noticed.
Oh, do I want to make the stealth check? Sure, let's try it. Oh, that's a 0. Wait, that's stealth? How do I have a -4?
You're wearing armor, I believe.
Oh, fuck.
You're wearing armor that's going to be a bit encumbering.
Pringle is going to play it off like they're not smart and just keep walking.
Okay. So you head upstairs, and a few of the people notice, but don't stop you. So how long has it been since? A few minutes?
He has a few minutes.
Okay. You head up there, and you see one of the doors is cracked. There's a hallway with doors. One of them is cracked and sort of partially open.
Pringle rolls her eyes and goes inside and quietly closes the door and wipes her tail, the fluffy part on top of where her fingers were.
The room is still lit. You see Karstein is sitting in the bed, and you're not sure if he's completely naked, but he's definitely got his shirt off,
Mm-hmm.
and he's partially under the covers.
I wouldn't recommend you'd stay in bed for very long.
Oh? What's going on?
That waitress down there, she grabbed me because, well, I look the way I do. I can't blame her for such a things. However, she thought you kidnapped me.
What?
Yeah. And I kind of had to sneak away, and I really recommend that we don't stay here, actually.
He kind of has this dawning realization of the trouble he could get in for this, and he quickly rolls out of bed and starts putting his clothes back on.
Pringle's going over to the window and opening it up and just starting to slip through already.
I'll be right behind you, alright?
Mm-hmm. The rooms are upstairs, right?
Yeah, it's on the second floor of the building.
Alright, when I look down, are the police coming? Or the guards?
That window doesn't face the main street. It's in an alley.
Awesome. Even better. Perfect. Pringle pokes her head back in.
Are you coming, sweet cheeks?
He's throwing on the last bits of his clothes, and he's on his way over to the window. Yeah, I'm with you.
Pringle smirks and then slides down a little bit.
I hope you didn't leave anything.
It gives the room a once over again. No, I think I got everything.
Oh, Pringle, you troublemaker.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, this is probably why I kept getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep my own little reasons to myself. Gotta see what I can do within reason. And contracts.
Yeah.
What kind of night is it? Is it still raining?
Yeah, there's still a gentle rain. It's not raining as hard as it was before. Could you make a climb check to climb down, or a acrobatics check, or a reflex save? I'll take any of those. Actually, I prefer the skill checks before the reflex save. So either climb or acrobatics.
I'll do climb. -1.
Alright, now I'd like a reflex save.
Okay, nat 20. 21.
Right. And you land poorly, but not as bad as you could have. You're going to take 2 points of damage when you hit the ground. It's a bit painful.
I mean, Pringle isn't wearing shoes, so...
Right, you think you might have twisted an ankle, you're not sure. Or at least done some damage to one of your joints.
Pringle, I think, landed on their feet, stumbled down, and then is kind of limping and trying to brace themselves against a wall to stand back up.
Mm-hmm. Karstein is going to try to climb out as well. He manages to climb down with no trouble. He's also going to now make a perception check. And he doesn't notice anything about your situation.
Bitch.
Come on, the horse is out in front.
Pringle's just gonna tough it.
Alright, he goes out around front, and he kind of peeks around, and you can both see a squad of town guard head inside.
Perfect.
As soon as they're all inside the building, he moves out and unleashes his horse from the mounting post.
Pringle waits for him to get on it first, and then
Okay.
hops on after, but stumbles a little while doing it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, careful there. You okay?
Mm-hmm. Fine. Let's just get out of here.
I wouldn't want you to fall off and get hurt.
Pringle wraps her tail around his waist again.
Yeah, he does the same thing he was done before, and he's kind of caressing it as he rides.
Gross.
Sorry, I'll have to take a rain check.
I'm sorry. My looks just get me in trouble sometimes.
Must be kind of hard, huh? Having a tail.
The tail's pretty useful. I just assumed it was the horns part. Sometimes people don't notice the tail. I don't know. She kind of said the same thing, something about overhearing, something about exotic, so I guess that must have tipped her off or something, thinking that I was in danger.
Boy, I'll have to choose my words more careful, huh? Well,
Yeah, I guess so. Pringle's smirking behind him. So where do we go now?
well, now I guess we'll lay low at a different inn, or we'd have to pay 2 inns in the same night. Oh well. Still stand to make a decent amount of money on this whole job.
Pringle reaches around and holds out a gold coin in front of him.
He pulls the horse to a stop, takes the coin, turns around and looks at it, and he turns around partially in the saddle to look at you. What's this for?
You paid for an inn and you were going to pay for another one. I feel a little bad about that since, well, she did make assumptions on who I was. Figure it was my fault. I'm sorry.
He's going to take the gold piece, put it in his belt, into a pouch, and he's going to put an arm around behind you and kind of pull you in for another kiss.
Pringle's gonna kiss him back.
You are just such a... I don't know, it's like you're... you might think this is funny. It's like you're a godsend or something.
That's literally what I've been telling you all night.
Pringle, you are a funny one.
I'm perfect.
Pringle winks.
So he rides to another tavern, another inn rather, and using the money you gave him, he will rent a room, and when they offer him any drinks, he'll refuse and say that he just wants to get up to the room to sleep.
Pringle's starting to limp a little.
Let's see if he notices. Hey, he notices. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little bit of a boo-boo is all.
Was it the horse ride, or was it... He kind of slaps himself in the forehead. It was climbing out the window, huh?
I'm maybe not the most agile per se with anything other than my tail.
Do we need to go to a healer?
No, I'm sure just sleeping through the night will be good for it. Maybe I'll just wrap it up or something. I just don't want you to get you in more trouble than I already have tonight.
I understand.
Maybe within the morning's light, people will see how good of a person you really are for taking care of me.
He gives you a smirk and heads upstairs to the room that he rented.
Pringle follows behind.
Alright, he is going to go into the room that he rented, and it is a pretty standard style room, one bed, and he's going to start taking his boots off. And it's been a more interesting night than I imagined it would be.
True.
And it's all thanks to you.
In more ways than one.
Pringle takes off her cloak and very gingerly sets it down as her holy symbol is attached to it and spreads out the cloth really nice so that there's no creases or anything. Gotta make sure it's good.
He's admiring as you do this. What?
Me as a player, me as Pringle.
Yeah, you as a player, you're laughing.
Oh, he has no idea. And I'm amused. I just wonder how much of a rude awakening Pringle is. Pringle turns towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Is something the matter?
Oh, no, I was just admiring the amount of care you take in handling your cloak.
Pringle smiles.
Yeah, well, Mephistopheles has saved me from a pretty horrible life I think I would have led if it wasn't for him. I owe him everything in my life.
It doesn't sound half bad. He climbs into bed. How about you tell me some more about him?
Pringle genuinely looks happy. Of course! And Pringle attempts to skip over, and they, stumble for a second.
He looks kind of concerned again. Are you sure you're alright?
I literally forgot that I'm coming.
I mean, I don't... Here, let me take a look, alright?
Pringle pouts, but limps over and sits on the bed, holds their foot out.
He's going to attempt a heal check. So, I mean, it's not great. He kind of has a middling heal check. It's enough to recognize what exactly is wrong, but he's not able to do much aside from massage it slightly, which does make it feel a little bit better.
Okay, so I probably just sprained it.
Yeah, he doesn't really have the training and capability to, heal your ankle or anything.
Yeah.
But he is able to kind of give you, a leg rub, sort of massaging the muscles in your leg a little bit to get it to relax. Is that feeling any better?
Yeah, it's very nice, thank you.
Well, tell you what, you keep telling me about this Mephistopheles character.
Alright, well.
And Pringle goes into a full-on excitement rant about everything Mephistopheles that she's ever known since he saved her. So, full-on rant for Mephistopheles. Pringle,
yeah, full-on rant for Mephistopheles.
Fucking looks like they're in love while talking about this shit.
And while that's happening, he's gonna start to massage your other leg, the one that's not even injured, in the same place, just kind of, he's just sitting there listening to you, and he's just kneading on your ankle.
But the other one.
The other one, no, yeah. He's just sort of balancing it out, I guess.
Pringle at this point leans over. They're gonna have like one hand perched under their chin as they're going on, explaining about how wonderful he is and how he's gonna save everyone and how really people should just follow contracts more. It's silly how much they can't seem to follow rules.
And he's going to continue massaging. First it was your ankles, and now he's like working his way up your calves. He's nodding along as he's listening. It seems like he's paying attention.
Alright. Pringle's just gonna keep going. La 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 la. And just genuinely, if at the end of my life I can just live in his eternal hellfire and his embrace, I think that is the best death for me eventually.
Well, you have some interesting ideas as far as what you'd like to accomplish in life.
Well,
but, I mean...
I figure
they don't
other
really...
people, when they die, they just kind of stop existing, or, like, it's just kind of cold.
Well, that sounds awful. I like things being nice and warm, personally.
Agreed. That's why his eternal hellfire will forever keep our souls warm for the rest of our lives.
So, he's going to try to run one of his hands up above your knee.
Yeah.
And up your thigh.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stop him?
Pringle puts her tail on top of his hand for a second.
Is everything alright?
Yeah, is everything alright with you?
I mean, doing what we did earlier always kind of puts me in a mood, if that makes sense.
Oh, does he mean killing people, like, makes him all fucking kinky?
Yup.
Ew. This guy's so gross.
I know.
Ew.
He's very evil.
Ew. Dude, just sign my contract. Gosh, I don't know. I haven't really, well, I don't really want to be a disappointment.
What do you mean?
Well, I am here to do my God's work. I don't know.
I mean, if you want to...
I guess
if you...
I'd
What?
feel more comfortable if this was for Mephistopheles, really.
How would we do that?
You'd just have to sign and I could put me in the contract.
Sure, something to say that we're partners, right?
Yeah. Or
That'd be all
if
right
you
with
don't
that.
like the partner part, I can make it more vague.
Nah, I figure that we're in this together now, right?
Of course.
I mean, the way you swung that mace, he moves his hand further up your thigh.
I am very strong.
So, do you push his hand back with your tail?
Yeah.
Okay. A stronger tail than I thought you had.
Pringle, she's still wearing clothes, so
Yeah.
she pulls out a paper and starts to write really quickly. Sorry, the script might be a little more scribbly. I just figured faster would be better for you. Just eye flutter while looking up and going back down to look at writing.
Alright, he's gonna go back to like rubbing below your knee then. His chin resting on the palm of his hand, left arm, and then his right arm is kind of rubbing along your leg.
So Pringle finished writing it up. It does not say that they are partners. It is more vague.
Okay, so what does the contract state?
It pretty much states that if Pringle sleeps with him, he will worship Asmodeus for the rest of his life and on.
Okay.
However, Pringle words it in a way to where it sounds like a partnership, but it mostly benefits Mephistopheles in the end.
Sure. Okay. Is there an applicable skill for this for you?
I don't know.
For writing up a contract?
You could just give me a special skill just for Pringle.
I think I might do that. I might make a craft contracts skill. Alright, go ahead and make a craft contracts check.
You got this, Pringle. 25.
25. Alright, in that case, you quickly write up a contract detailing how, if he signs this, he is entitled to sleep with you.
Mm-hmm.
But then, after that, his eternal soul belongs to Mephistopheles. You said that you wanted to make it have flowery language to make them sound like your partners?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's very scripty with cursive writing. Like, Pringle actually has really nice handwriting.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a huge thing in the convent. Penmanship is essentially like a divine trait.
Pringle's left-handed.
Ugh. Alright.
Rude.
Disgusting.
I'm left-handed. I just thought it was funny because I would assume, like, you know how nuns are like, oh, don't use your left hand. Instead, it's like the complete opposite.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be evil, right? So
yeah.
They probably would smack people with rulers if they were right-handed.
Exactly.
Because it's better to be sinister.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So
however, Pringle can use both hands.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously. Pringle's kind of omni in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So Karstein is going to just take the pen from you and sign his name on it without even really, like, reading it at all.
Oh, I spent all that effort.
And then he's going to say, so we're partners now.
That would be correct.
He leans in and kind of gives you a little peck on the mouth. And as he does that, he's going to move his hand further up your leg.
Mm-hmm.
Do you stop him this time?
Nope. I am fulfilling my contract.
Fade to black.
Fade to black.
And he kind of just ends up laying on top of you, wraps his arms around your front, and kind of just holds onto your chest, and just sort of lays there, as if he's going to sleep on top of you.
Great. Pringle is trying not to roll their eyes out of their sockets.
He mumbles how good that was.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You can feel him smelling your hair.
Ew. Stop being gross.
I'm trying to think of all the cringy things I can have him do.
Just think of, like, what that Frollo guy from The Hunchback of Notre Dame did, and just amplify that. Pringle is trying to be in a different plane of existence still. She's like, yeah, that's right, Mephistopheles. I do smell great. Just in her head. I smell like lies and lawful deceit. And it's great.
Alright, so he will drift off to sleep with his arms around you. Sort of like mumbling various nothings as he does so. He kind of loses coherence between his state of inebriation and exhaustion.
Yeah. I'll try to roll him over so he's not crushing me the entire night.
Okay, you're pretty strong. Make a strength check.
Okay.
Or a combat maneuver, I'll take either.
Let's see. It doesn't really matter, it's the same bonus. 5. I'm stuck here, aren't I?
Your struggling just wakes him back up. Everything alright?
Sorry. I'm a little squished.
Almost as if he didn't hear you. I'm ready for round 2, huh?
Oh, God. Of course.
That's what Pringle says.
But it's so mumbled. I think she's just waiting. It's very under her breath, but I think she's waiting to see if he'll just fall back asleep, actually.
So he's gonna move himself off of you and fade to black.
I've got nothing to put him to sleep, as much as I would like to.
Things you're going to need to pick up as powers soon.
Yeah. Dear Lord. Mephistopheles, please get me through this trying time in my life.
Pringle's challenges have not ended.
No.
Apparently.
She doesn't like this guy at all.
No. Of
He's
course
gross.
not.
He's really gross.
He's also not Mephistopheles, and even if he wasn't Mephistopheles, still, everybody's not Mephistopheles but Mephistopheles.
Yeah, right?
So, like, literally everyone is gross but Mephistopheles.
Pretty much.
I mean, is there anybody that Pringle would even, like, have the slightest interest in?
No.
Probably no.
No.
Because they're not Mephistopheles. Pringle has the true love feat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only one person for Pringle.
My one true love.
Her one true love. That's right.
But, yeah. Pringle gets through that.
So once that's over, he kind of, like, collapses over and pulls you in a spooning position, basically.
Yeah, at least he's not crushing me.
That's true.
Pringle is gonna pray to Mephistopheles and pray until she falls asleep to him.
Okay. And of course, just to make him even more creepy, he's handsy, even while cuddling.
Pringle's trying not to gag.
Dear Lord Mephistopheles, I hope I have done your work as I should today. I do not know what path you are leading me on, but I sure as hell hope it involves me killing and smiting this motherfucker at some point. I love you dearly. I hope you're doing well. I can't wait to turn a whole organization just for you, because I love you just that much. And I hope you give me another sign so that I can kill this fucker really soon. I understand I still need him to get into said organization, but a sign for such things would be nice. I love you. Alright, good night. Okay, I love you. Okay, good night. I love you. Love you.
Oh, fucking Pringle. God damn it, you're so adorable.
And she pretty much, this is how she falls asleep, is by whispering that phrase in her head over and over again until she falls asleep, pretty much, until she loses consciousness.
Give it to me one more time.
I love you. Okay, good night. I love you. Okay, good night. I love you.
Okay, good night. I love you. Okay, good night.
All right. So I don't think that Carson has even a chance to hear that. He's
it's in her head.
Okay. I didn't know if they were mumbling it. If she was mumbling it or not.
No, she thinks a lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Internal dialogue all the time. She just thinks she's talking to Mephistopheles. Like, whenever she thinks, she's just like, he's always there, so I must always be thinking for him.
Oh, so her internal monologue is always a communication with
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mephistopheles.
In her thought process, at least.
That's great. All right.
Do I have a dream?
Yeah. You see a lake of fire.
Cool.
You're standing on the shore of that lake. The entire thing is made of swirling fire of some kind. It's strange. It's like a liquid fire. Every so often there'll be like a geyser burst of flames that shoots up from it. The heat is unfathomable. It makes you feel clean.
Perfection. Can Pringle reach her hands down into the lake?
Yeah.
Okay, she does that.
Okay. The fire licks across your hands, and you can feel the outer layers of your skin catch and start to burn. But it doesn't hurt. It's painless somehow.
Pringle's gonna take her hands back slowly and examine them, like first looking at her palms and then switching her hands over. Is the fire still on her?
Yeah, your hands are on fire.
Is my skin melting away?
It definitely feels strange, but it's not destroying you. It's a dream after all.
Yeah. Pringle looks around to see if anyone's here.
You look around and you see the land you're standing on is sort of like this black obsidian stone. It looks like it's mostly a natural cavern. There's like stalagmites all around you sticking up into the air, kind of craggy looking, and you don't see anyone else in the nearby vicinity, but just the view of this place fills you with a sense of peace. Like this is your home somehow.
Okay. But no one's here?
Not currently.
Okay. Pringle's gonna turn back to the lake and start to wade into it.
Okay. You wade into it, and the feeling is like you are completely clean. Like you've just been born again. Fresh and new.
I needed that after this night. Pringle's going to play in the fire lake, I guess? Splashing around?
Sure, yeah. You splash around in liquid fire, and it feels amazing. You feel sunlight on your face.
Oh, shit. Pringle's trying to ignore it.
You blink a few times to try to make it go away, but it's insistent. And the next thing you know, you feel an arm moving against your chin. Your dream collapses.
Pringle blinks, their eyes awake.
You're laying in a bed. You're declothed currently. The covers are sort of half on, half off of you. And it appears that your bedmate has kind of just flung their arm across you.
Just flung it across me?
I'd imagine that Pringle's probably laying on her left side, facing away from this dude.
Yeah.
There's an arm that's like resting against the right side of your face. And he's splayed out in the middle of the bed with his arms and legs.
He's starfishing?
He's starfishing.
Ew.
Yes. Yeah. I was considering on either having him snore, starfish, or drool. And I think he might be doing all three.
Oh. This is the worst.
Yeah, he is the worst. Yes.
Pringle's just gonna fucking get up and get ready for the day. She is exasperated and pissed.
Fair enough. Fade to black, then.
Thanks for listening to Snake Eyes. As always, special thanks to William Succi for the intro and outro themes, and Emily Roll for Fantasy for this episode soundtrack. Interested in following us on social media? Follow us on Twitter at CheckPleaseDND. Or, want to support the podcast and be part of the Czech Republic? Go to our Patreon under the Czech Republic. Until next time!